everybody. It's Connie Stewart with SimplySimpleStamping.com. So glad you guys could join me for a new Tuesday tip video. If you're looking for organization ideas, you came to the right place today. I want to share with you my top 10 organization tips in my new stamp space. I'm loving this new studio. In fact, I shared a video on a tour of my studio, and if you missed it, I'll put the link up there in the corner. You can check that out. I am so excited to share some of these tips with you because let's face it, organization is the one thing I think we struggle with the most. We want to be creative. That means we need to be organized. So kick back, relax, and I hope you learned some new things in today's Tuesday tip video. Punch storage is definitely one of the items that we want to have at our fingertips when we're working, right? You don't want to have to maybe dig into a box or something because when we need them, we need them. I found these shelves from the Container Store to be amazing. These are part of the Alpha system. And I don't know if you can see, but I have, there's tracks that go on my wall and these can just clip in. Let me show you what the shelf looks like. So it's got some little clippies right here. It just and sits on the wall, and you notice it's a flat shelf. I'm pointing that out because over here on my clear block storage, it's a little bit different shelf, and I'll show you that one here in just a minute. But what I loved most about these is that I could adjust them, and so you can see I get a lot of punches in this one area of my stamp space, and I loved that. Again, I just love the flexibility. Now we'll move down to my clear block storage. So like I said, they're on a little bit different shelf. This shelf has a lip on it, and that's really great because when I put my clear blocks on there, it's got something to kind of hold it in place so I don't have to worry about them toppling over. These have worked really well. You'll notice the sizes of the shelves are very different. Again, Container Store and the Alpha system had a lot of different options for that. I went with narrower ones, and I do have a lot of clear blocks. I kind of love my clear blocks. Again, but you can see I could hook those onto my pegboard here, and I have the flexibility to move them around so I didn't waste space. And again, just another one of those things. I need these at my fingertips because you can see as we move down here, this is my actual working space. But now let's talk about our stamp pad storage and our Stampin' Blend storage. As a stamper and a paper crafter, this is one of the big things that I really wanted to have some really great storage. There aren't tons of options out there, but Stampin' Up! Does actually have this really fantastic storage system for both ink pads and for Stampin' Blends. And I find it to be amazing. Kind of like with my shells, I had a lot of flexibility. I could move them up and down. Same thing with these because they are individual. So you can stack these as high as you need. Now don't go crazy. We don't want this falling over. But you can see I was able to fit all my ink pads across in 3 towers. If you had a shorter space that you had available, you could go 4. You could maybe just put 10 and do 5 across. You know, it really is obviously whatever works for you, but I do love that I have lots of flexibilities with these, and they just kind of stack together really well. I want to show you here, while I don't have an ink pad in it, that your ink pad, it goes here, and your Stampin' Right marker here. So that's where my ink pad goes, and you notice there's a stopper so that it allows that to hang off, which means I can easily grab it, and then the matching marker can fit right inside there. And of course, we just stack the next one. We can add our next color. It's just nice to be able to have those markers and your ink pads together. Okay, but now let's talk about the Stampin' Blends. Stampin' Up's Stampin' Blend storage is the kind of the same system. It's got the same look. It's all the same size. You see how nice it all looks and it all goes together. But the Stampin' Blends have a different notch in them. And again, we can just add our Stampin' Blends here. They slide right into that notch, again, hanging off the end so we can easily grab them, but all the same size so everything stays nice. Again, you have the option, the stack, and with both of these, you get 5 in a package. So you can just buy as many packages of 5 as you need to suit what you have. There are 2 more pieces to this system that I did want to point out, though. You can get a topper for your storage. Look at that, nice. So, if it's going across your desk, maybe you don't have shelves up above, it's nice to have that flat surface that you could put, maybe your black ink pad or your Versamark ink pad, things like that. So a topper is also available. Plus, there is also a cube storage. So if you wanted to store your ribbon, you could stack these. Look, you could stack them here on your blends. Again, remember, everything is the same size and it all works together. I love this system. I have found it to be amazing. Of course, white is going to go with everything. And yeah, it really has served me well. My stamping area is right here. Again, it's all at my fingertips. So I was just talking about ribbon storage, and I'm going to show you how I store my ribbon. I actually chose to put mine in a drawer. It's not necessarily something that I wanted out. You know how all those little tails of ribbon, they can kind of go everywhere. This drawer is actually part of the storage that I put in my stamp room from Elfa. And you notice that plastic insert. It worked great with my ribbon. So you see all my ribbon fit nicely in there. That little spot there over to the right, all those little scraps, that's where I put my scraps of ribbon. Sometimes I've tried something, it didn't work. It's so nice to just be able to save that and I can use it on another project. Again, a fabulous drawer. These little dividers worked amazing for me. All right, we're going to move down a little bit further and I want to talk to you about embellishment storage. Okay. This has kind of been a game changer for me. So this little container, it also came from the Container Store. So that's what it looks like. You can get lids for them too. What I did like is because the lids were separate, you notice for this storage, well, I definitely did not need a lid. So that was a money saver. I didn't have to pay for a lid that I wasn't going to use. They have lots of different sizes of these. And if you can see them up above, I've used them all over my stamp studio, but it's called Smart Store Compact. Love, love, love these. But let me show you what I've been able to do with my embellishment storage. Embellishment storage has always been an issue. And I discovered this thing works amazing. So let me show you. What I have here is one of our clear envelopes. I cut it down to 6 inches. So basically I was cutting off that little sticky tab. We pull off the tab to be able to close the envelope. I've cut that off. Made a great envelope. These are super, super affordable. Now, what I did here is I put a piece of cardstock, just some basic white thick cardstock, so that it would stand up. I didn't want to destroy my envelope. 4.5 by 4.25 by 5.5. Sorry about that. So there are my embellishments. But do you ever do this? Oh no. What are those? Yeah, I do that all the time. So look what I did. In this situation, I actually accidentally bought 2, but they are my classic matte dots. So if you have 2 packages, well, I just slid the other one back behind it. But, we don't always make that mistake. So let's see what we have next. So this one are I got to look, my opal rounds. See, I even forget the name of these things. So there are my opal rounds, but this one in particular, you notice it fills the whole envelope? Yeah, it does. So here's what I did. Let me flip it over. I just cut the actual packaging, because that's how our packages come. So I could just take it out of the wrapper. I did take it out of the wrapper because you notice it's a little bit smaller and I wanted everything to be uniform. But I was able to just take that. I cut the top of it off because remember, this is on the front and then this is on the back. So I cut that off. I put it down here in this blank area because I wanted to be able to see that item number. So when I go to reorder, I know exactly what I need. So look at this. I can see that they're my opal rounds. I use Stampin' Up's packaging. Boom, everything's ready. Guess what? There's more. So then we have things like this that, you can see. Hopefully you can see it's a little bit smaller. So I couldn't use the original packaging, but let me flip it over. I just cut off that top tab and slid it down inside and I wrote the item number on there. So now when I'm running low on silver and clear epoxy essentials, I have the item number, boom, I can reorder. And I've just done that to everything. So simple. And I have a lot of embellishments and I think I'm about ready that I'm going to have to do this in 2 separate containers because I'm getting a little full. Yeah, I'm kind of one of those that loves embellishments. I love bling, but these little containers have been amazing for holding these. Anyway, and I just can't speak highly enough how much this little storage system, not only is it affordable, it has been a lifesaver. All right, I'm going to move my Simply Scored board out of the way so I can show you my 6x6 designer series paper storage. Anyone else struggle with this one? Well, this is that other little container. You know, I told you they came in all different sizes, and this one worked perfect to hold my 6x6 paper. And you notice I just took, this is actually the backing from the designer series paper, and I cut it down 6x7. And so the 7 inches is up here, so I could add bright, subtles, regals, neutrals, and my in colors. This little thing was the best birthday present I ever got. My husband got me this for Christmas. It is a tag maker, and yeah, I can just type it in, print it off, print off these little labels. I've used it all over my stamp room. You can change the size, you can make them bigger and smaller, and you can do 1 line or 2 line. But let me tell you, this has been awesome. So now all my colors aren't mixed together, which, can I tell you, that's how it used to be. It was really frustrating because some colors I was just not always really good at telling apart. But so I've got them all separated, but let me show you this. So right here is another one of those clear envelopes. You know, I'm kind of addicted to those. Cut it down to 6 inches. So basically cutting off that tab. And I take all my extra brights and I put them in there. And now it can sit right in front. Underneath that one, there's my subtles. It's all organized. I love to hold on to my scraps. You guys know I have a lot of videos using scraps. So this has been awesome. Now let me show you my other 6x6 designer series paper storage. I basically did the same thing. Actually, this is my 4x6. This is a brand new size, but I still have them broke down just here with some of my from my designer series paper, again 6x7. Oh, can I show you something? So I ran out of those and I was like, oh no, what am I going to do? So, you know, I said it was 6x7. What are you going to do with those extra pieces? Well, I taped them together to make a 6x7. Hey, you know, you do what you got to do, and that can go right in there. There's some more of my little storage. Now, I have not labeled these. Why? As a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, our designer series paper changes pretty often. So I just chose not to label these. I'm going to leave it alone. And I'm going to be honest, I'm going to see how it goes. I may end up going and putting a label in there. But you know, I think what I'll do so I can protect this cardboard is I might just take a piece of basic white cardstock and slip back behind with the name, with the reorder number, just to make it really helpful. But again, using this is really great. Now, let's say, Connie, I just don't have any of that designer series paper backing. I've thrown it all away. Oh, I joke because I don't throw away anything. But if you don't have that, let me tell you, you could use your favorite colored cardstock. You might feel more confident if you put those pieces back to back. You could just glue those back to back just to make it a little more sturdy. You know what else you could do? You could save, you know, cracker boxes and cereal boxes and things like that. And you could cover it with either designer series paper, colored cardstock, or how about my favorite, stamp all over a piece of your basic white cardstock. Stamp all over it, make it look real pretty, make it match your area. And you could adhere that onto cracker boxes or cereal boxes. And now you really have something truly custom. So lots of options on how you can create some really great storage. Let's talk about my 12x12 paper storage. Okay, y'all. So this is probably one of my most favorite things that I was able to get from Container Store, because 12x12 paper storage has always been such a struggle. So this is a system, again, from Elfa and from the Container Store. Most of the time people are putting these in pantries and things, and look, they're nice and deep. And what I discovered is that they have these great dividers that you can put in here, and I used hanging files. Let me pull one of these out. So there's my hanging file. It's just got those great little tabs so it can just sit on those dividers. There's my designer series paper, and look, behind it I have some heavy duty cardboard. Now, yes, there is some of the designer series paper cardboard, but it's a little too flimsy. And you know, when it comes to that designer series paper, we want to protect it. We don't want it to get bent up. So I've been saving some of that, I call it chipboard, but some of that big heavy chipboard that comes behind, oh, like our specialty paper or glimmer paper and things like that. It's been really handy. Listen, again, if you don't have this, you might look at maybe some heavy duty poster board or things like that, but you just don't want that paper flopping around. We put it in our, this is just, a regular envelope size hanging folder. And yeah, it does hang off the sides, but that's not bothering me too much because I can just pull this out. It goes right in. Well, it goes right in and it falls down because I'm on camera. There we go. So it sits right there. Again, let me open this. I can flip through my designer series paper very easily. And I just kind of put my scraps. So there's a piece that's been cut. I just put my scraps down into the envelope or into the hanging folder. I think that seems to work pretty good. And if anyone has any other great ideas on your scraps of these designer papers, I'd love to hear it. Obviously, my clear envelope is a little too small for my 12 by 12. So I do just tuck those in there, but I've got everything. Everything has its own board backing again, so it doesn't flop around. Okay, now we're going to move down a little bit more and we can talk about cardstock storage. So I've done the exact same thing here. It's the same type of hanging files. I even went as far as to make the tabs and put the name of it. Again, thank you to that wonderful little label maker my husband got me. So there's my Blushing Bride cardstock. Now let me show you this. Fancy smancy over here. It's a Ziploc bag. And I keep all of my scraps in that Ziploc bag, fold it over. It goes right inside. I'm always going to go to that Ziploc bag before I cut into a brand new piece of cardstock. So you can't really see it here, but I have 4 of these drawers. So I have my designer series paper, and then I have my other papers in here. This system has worked wonderful for me. Again, Container Store Alpha system. I hope you're enjoying the tips so far. I wanted to just pop in here for just a quick second and just ask you to become a subscriber to my channel. If you love paper crafting, this is the channel for you. I just want to encourage you to join over 100,000 subscribers and over 1,100 videos here on the channel for stamping and paper crafting. So click that great big red subscribe button and be a subscriber. And if you haven't checked out simplysimplestamping.com, I encourage you to head over there as well. Lots and lots of inspiration wait for you there. Okay, but now we're going to get back to our organization tips. Here we go. Next to embellishment storage, I think die storage was also one of my huge obstacles, but I have got to tell you, this storage solution that I was able to create has been amazing. So I've got 2 of my boxes, the ones that you've seen me use numerous times, and I have 2 sets of them for my dies because I do have a lot of them. They're all separated, much like the way you saw me separate my designer series paper, my 6x6 with the little backings from designer series paper, those cardboard pieces. Well, I did things a little bit different. So for these, I used my Label Me Fancy punch, and I just punched just a little piece of actually some of the scrap of the cardboard when I cut it off and made myself a tab. Now these pieces of cardboard, these were cut 9 1/4 by 8. So the reason I did that is because when I have my dies in here, I needed to have them separated. Obviously, I couldn't just put all these magnet sheets together. I'd have just a huge hot mess. So there is a piece of that cardboard in between each one. And so I just mentioned the magnet die sheets. And yeah, that's what I use to organize my dies. I put them on these magnet sheets. Now, you're going to love this because this is an awesome tip. I am a very frugal person, and I found years ago these magnetic vent covers at my local home improvement store. Well, let me tell you what, these things were a godsend. Again, like I said, I've probably been using them for about 5 or 6 years. It comes as a package of 3. I cut them in half, so I got 6 magnetic sheets out of one package. By the way, like I said, they're magnetic vent covers. You're going to find these in your home improvement store where they keep vents. So let's say you're going to replace a vent in your house. That's where you're going to find these little gems. Very affordable. And of course, I needed a lot of them for a lot of dies, but I got basically 6 out of a package, and I can just keep them stored right on there, get them out, use them, put everything back. Back it goes, put my cover back on it, and I'm ready. Now, how to organize them? Well, everyone's going to organize a little bit differently. For me, I went with shapes, nature, random, because there's always that set of dies that you go, I don't even know what category this goes in. Random, I have flowers, masculine, words, my die words, boxes, animals, and then seasonal. So it was great to be able to have them all nicely organized. I can find things super easy. Again, love this. Now we're going to jump over to embossing folder storage. And this is another one. I'm just very, very happy with how it turned out. So again, another one of the containers, but Stampin' Up! Has 3 different sizes of embossing folders. And what I found when I tried to put them in here is they were all mixed up. I was really struggling to keep them organized. So here's what I did. I have the little containers. These are the same ones you saw me use on embellishments. So that has my little mini machine embossing folders. Then I have another one of those for my medium-sized embossing folders, so more like a quarter sheet. And then my 6x6, they can just sit back behind that. And they all sit in here so nice. It works so well. I can flip, I can find what I'm looking for. They're not going all over the place, and it looks neat and clean. And let's face it, when we have a crafting space that is neat and clean, we are more creative. The last one I want to share with you is the one that I use with my die cutting machine, with my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. So, we have to have things for that, right? We've got to have embossing plates. We've got to have our platform, an extra set of plates, my foam mat for my detailed dies that I want to use my die brush on. So it's so nice to have all of this right there. It's right in front of my machine. All of these lined up. I'm telling you, it has been an amazing organization tool, probably one of my most favorite areas of my stamp room when I'm actually working. And let me say one more thing about this. Remember I said that when you get these containers, you can purchase the lids separately? Guys, this was 4 containers. I did not need lids, actually 6, because there were these small ones too. So yeah, 6 containers. I don't need lids. I don't want to pay for lids I'm not going to use. And guess what? I didn't. I was able to just purchase the containers separately. So that's why that little tip of being able to buy them separately was such a good idea. Thank you all so much for joining me today. If you enjoyed the video, would you give me a thumbs up on YouTube? I always appreciate that. And as I said earlier, become a subscriber. If you love paper crafting and you love creative inspiration, this is the place you want to be. Just click that great big red subscribe button. We would love to have you. That's all for me today, my friends. I hope to see you again soon. Make it a great day and an organized one. See you later. Bye-bye.